across all the grades in Cork today. These two have wins under their belts already. Sars defeating Middleton, Douglas overcoming Ballyhay on the opening weekend. But as we saw last night, Middleton are right back in the mix with a devastating display against Ballyhay. So the margin for error is tiny in this group. Ger Cunningham alongside me here. We'll be hearing from him in a few moments' time. But first, let's check in with the camps. And I spoke to Sars selector Ray Ryan. But first off, let's hear from the Douglas manager, Mark O'Callaghan.
Warm welcome to Mark O'Callaghan, the Douglas manager. Mark, thanks so much for joining us ahead of tonight's game against Sars. Your reaction, first of all, at the final whistle last week, defeating Ballyhay, but there was a few scary moments in there as well too.
Yeah, listen, first of all, thanks for having me anyway, Colin. But yeah, not the prettiest of wins, but a win all the same. That's what we went down there to get, and that's what we came away with, so we were delighted with it afterwards.
Did you expect it to be as tough as it was?
Oh, yeah. Anyone who thinks they get an easy game off Ballyhay would want to rethink things. Like, I've played against them since under 12 up. I've never had an easy game against them, and you weren't going to get it. It was no fluke that they got to the quarter-final last year. Unlucky not to get to a semi-final, so they're a good side, work very hard. Work the ball very well when they have it, and some quality players like Bob Callahan and Morris O'Sullivan and the like. So, yeah, it wasn't going to be an easy game at all.
In a way, does it make life easier for you then preparing for a second game? You have the points in the bag, but you've plenty to work on and plenty to tell the lads that they need to work on.
Oh, yeah, big time. Like, as I said, look, we just took the win from last Saturday, but as you say yourself, a lot to work on. But good to get that first game out of the way. Kind of brushed off the cobwebs, because you can do so much in training and challenge games and everything, but it's not going to replicate a championship game, and got that first one out of the way now and looking forward again to Saturday night.
What were the biggest things, Mark, that you learned from that first game in terms of, the strange atmosphere, the lack of noise, the water break, all those type of things are so new to everyone?
Yeah, it is completely new. We thought the water break, all right. The first 15 minutes, I felt kind of totally dominating the game. We were 6-7 points to 2, I think, up at that stage. And that was kind of new to us, right, in the sense that it really killed the momentum. We allowed Ballyhay back into the game. And it took us a while to recover afterwards, probably not until the last 15 minutes again. But that second water break in the second half, it kind of went the other way, in the sense where it allowed us to come in, regroup, because Ballyhay at that stage were getting on top of us. And as I said, then we kicked on for the last 15 minutes and it was good. But you can really sense the lack of the crowd there, the lack of the push from them, let's say, with that inspirational score. Sometimes get a team going, and that is lacking there a bit. It's unfortunate, but look, it's something we have to get used to. It's not going to change anytime soon. So for the rest of our championship anyway, we're not going to have any more than what we have now.
It's your first year as manager of the Douglas Seniors. You couldn't have asked for a stranger baptism of fire. So you couldn't. I suppose the one positive, the fact that you have the Cadigans and the likes of Shane Kingston and others committing solely to hurling this year. How important is that for you as a manager?
Yeah, it's brilliant. You can't overemphasize the importance of the Cork lads enough. Look, it's good and bad. Bad in the sense that we've lost Mark Collins and Nate Walsh have gone the other way to just football only. Look, it's a massive workload on these fellas, so you don't blame them for their decisions. But having the 4 Cork lads now in the 2 Cadigans, Shane and Bull around, brilliant. Like, the lads are seeing them on a consistent basis, night after night, and it brings up the tempo of training, the skill level of training, everything. Lads encouraging each other. That importance of it is brilliant. As I said, the standard of the Cork lads coming back brings it up that another bit again.
Okay, well, you couldn't ask for a better second game than SARS. I'm not sure if you saw our footage of the game against Middleton. It had plenty of everything in it, and I'm sure leaving you no doubt as to what's in store over the next hour or so.
Oh yeah, we're no strangers to SARS, and SARS are no strangers to us. Like, we played them last year as well. They got the better of us in it. They're probably all over the pitch. Some unbelievable players. 6 forwards there that could, you could say, are inter-county forwards at this stage. But look, we'll have our work cut out for us. We'll set us up in the best we can, and look, hopefully it'll go our way on the night.
No, we're heading to SARS and to Ray Ryan, who's one of the joint coaches, along with Owen Quigley of the side. Ray, perfect start for you last Friday night?
Yeah, Colm, yeah, we're very happy with this. You know, we knew it was going to be a tough proposition, Middleton, one of the top teams in the county, so we weren't expecting anything less than we got. I was really happy with the second half performance, to be honest, Colm. I thought we came in after the water break, we came back out, we were a bit lethargic, but we got the lads in at half time, had a good chat, and you know, they did all we asked them to in the second half, and you know, we got the performance that we really wanted out of them and we expected of them. So come the final whistle, we were delighted with it, absolutely delighted with it now.
From your perspective as a coach, was it a bit of an unknown entity when you were coming into the game on Friday night, given the length of the layoff?
Yeah, it was. Look, I suppose every club was in the same boat, having such a long time off. You know, like 3-4 months without getting the lads together. You know, you could just do all we could possibly do: Zoom meetings, kind of, you know, Zoom kind of conditioning sessions. You know, as Rory alluded to last week, we were doing a good bit of running as part of the group and doing a bit of charity running. But you know, it's not until you get them in on the field you realise where we're at. But we were really happy with the condition that they came back and the state of mind that they came back in. You know, a great bunch of lads. They all want to just get back on the field, get back hurling ball. You know, so really with the condition they came back and kind of give us, you know, the tools really to kind of just get straight down into the nitty gritty and get hurling, get hitting ball, and get striking, get first touch right. So, you know, from that point of view, we had it quite easy when we got it back onto the pitch.
Okay, now that, as you said, that kind of third quarter period was absolutely crucial for you last week. Were you a bit concerned with the slow start, the way Middleton flew from the traps?
We were, Colm, because to be perfectly honest, we played a few challenge games. We played 3 challenge games before it, and that was where our strength was. We were really starting strong, started very strong in all the challenge games. But look, that's championship hurling. You just don't know what you're going to get. Middleton came out at ferocious pace. Their movement along the half forward and really kind of troubled us a small, but we were a bit unsure whether to stay, whether to go or stick or bust, you know. So once we got the whole of midfield and the whole of our half back line, I really thought we were able to get on the ball and give our forwards great ball in. And you know, that's where the difference was. I think the second half we grabbed the whole in on the half back line. And you know, the ball going into the forward line was top notch. And you know, I played as a back. Like, if you can get good ball into the forward, it's very hard to defend. And look enough, we got the good ball in, and the forwards were up to the task as well. And you know, one high ball, we're getting on the low ball, making good runs. And you know, I suppose that's where the winning, the losing of the game. We were just very, very efficient with our decisions in the forward line, and you know, that's probably where the difference was in the second half.
Okay, well, Gerard Cunningham alongside me was very interested, I suppose would be the word, in your deployment of Daniel Carney. What is his role in the 2020 SARS master plan?
Well, look, his role is the same as everyone else's, just to go out there and play as well as he can and give 100% and, you know, honest work rate. But look, Danny for us has been, you know, one of the greatest SARS players the last kind of 10 years and even longer, 12, 13 years, you know. And you know, he's come back now full time with us, which is a massive boost to us. You know, we get Danny now every Tuesday and Thursday training. You know, filling us with his experience and etc. So look, we played him against Newtown before the lockdown, centre back. I suppose we have a very natural centre back in Paul Leopold, who was out long term with an injury, and you know, after the lockdown he made himself available. But we just, you know, I suppose we weren't too sure, was he ready for a guy who's been off for maybe, you know, the bones of 15, 16 months longer without any hurling done. So, you know, we put Danny back in one of the games, and look, he's going to give you massive leadership, brilliant game management, you know, which is a massive role in the centre back. And, you know, look, against Middleton it worked. The next day it might work as well. But look, I think that's where we're at the moment. Danny, you know, he's very flexible where he can play. He can play anywhere between between half back line, midfield, half forward line, and if you were stuck, you could push him forward. So, for the moment, that's where Danny is. But look, that doesn't mean it's going to be always going to be the case. But we're happy with the way he played. He'll make sure that everyone is on point around the two midfielders, his half back line, his forwards. He's a great communicator. He's loud, and he'll get in fellas' ears, and look, that's what he'll give you as a number 6 for us.
The lads for their assistance during the week with those interviews. The sun absolutely beating down on us here in Cork. It's hard to believe it's only 20 to 8 in the evening. I hope you've sunscreen there for the two of us here. Absolutely heaven sent. The stadium looking absolutely fantastic as well, and the pitch as well too, isn't it?
Yeah, I have the sunglasses anyway, Colin. Hopefully that sun will be sinking into the west there later on, so I might be using them. As you say, it's what a fantastic evening for a game of hurling, and the pitch absolutely looks immaculate. It looks absolutely brilliant, and it's just, I suppose, so strange when you're here. You can hear every whistle, every call, every shout, every hitting the ball, belting the hurley. It's just the eerie silence and the surroundings means you can hear everything on the pitch. But what a glorious evening for a game. I'm really looking forward to what we should have a good classic here this evening. Okay, well, let's bring up the teams first. We're going to start off with Douglas. One change from what's appearing on your screen. Andy O'Connell wearing number 19 coming in instead of Brian Turnbull at corner. Yeah, that's Brian Turnbull went off after 20 minutes last week with a hamstring injury. So that's no great surprise that he, even though he was named on the team, that he won't feature this evening. I suppose whatever chance he had, maybe they were holding back to say that they've got another game in a couple of weeks' time, and hamstrings normally take 3-4 weeks to recover. So he's out. He's a big loss to them because he takes a lot of pressure off Alan Cadigan. Andy O'Connell's come in. He's a quite a speedy player, quite a tidy player. He's fast and different type of player than Turnbull. Turnbull would have taken a bit of minding, and now the Sars cornerbacks, we expect William Carney and Conor O'Sullivan. Now they've got a decision to make as to who picks up Alan Cadigan. So no real switches, no real surprises in the Douglas team. The interesting one, I believe, from my point of view here, obviously Mark O'Connor is in. He didn't play last week. He was injured. He comes in, named at 12 in the programme. Shane Kingston's named at 11. Played midfield the last day against Ballyhay, and by all accounts wasn't in the game that much. Strange position for him to play midfield, and it looks like that he's going to be named. He's named at centre forward. I think that's the big call for Douglas where they play him. Okay, speaking of chopping and changing and positional switches, we had a small bit of a heart murmur developing here a few minutes ago when we got the Sarsfields team, because it looked very unlike the team that we had been given earlier in the week. But we're kind of looking through the helmets and everything here at the moment. It seems to be the same team, but the side that we were given is more the positional switches as to who's playing where. Yeah, their numbers are like for instance, William Carney is named at midfield wearing number 9 jersey, but I've no doubt he'll be playing cornerback himself. He was number 2 the last day, played right cornerback. That's the interesting one for me. Do they leave Conor O'Sullivan, who would be not noted as an outstanding man marker, but would be a brilliant reader of the game? Do they stick with Conor to mark Alan Cadigan, who would obviously be one of Douglas' danger men, or will they put William Carney across on him? So I think they'll line out Cullum the same as the last day. Fairly certain they had a great win the last day against Middleton last week. So I think there's one change, I think. Correct, yeah. I think Dylan Walsh is in for Luke Hackett, and I suppose the interesting thing as to where he'll play, I think he's a wing forward. You could see James Sweeney maybe start inside in a 3-man full forward line, and maybe run. But Dylan Walsh will probably play at 12. Okay. One other topic of conversation with us last week was Daniel Carney's deployment, which you were wondering, is it something we're going to see replicated again tonight? Oh, I've no doubt. I think he was outstanding there the last day. I think he read the game really well. It was only in kind of hindsight I was thinking about going home after. Sure, like Danny grew up and first came to notice of to the county selectors back years ago as a right half back, and played a lot of his hurling with Sars at right half back. So it wouldn't have been a major switch for him to go in at centre back. It's a big question mark, I suppose, in that obviously he reads the game so well that he can sit in there at centre back, and he picked up an awful lot of ball there last week. He left Conor Lehan drift. He didn't go after him. He played his own game, and I suppose when he's playing midfield he does drive forward and he does contribute normally 3 or 4 points a match for them. Again, big question again tonight, like what does he do if Shane Kingston is on him? So that's why I would expect that Douglas will play Shane Kingston at 11, but I think Daniel will leave him run, and you could be looking at maybe one of the midfielders, Paul Leopold or Donal English, looking at playing that defensive role in front of Danny Carney to pick up Shane Kingston, because obviously I think Douglas really looked to the two lads, Shane Kingston, Alan Cadigan, as their main target men. They have to get the scores tonight, I think, for them to have a chance.
And I suppose wearing your Cork hat tonight, you'll have the eye on a couple of household names as well too. Let's hear the national anthem first, and we'll get back to it then. So as I was saying, you're wearing your Cork hat tonight. You'll be a more than interested spectator in what's happening as well, given the number of household names on the two sides.
Yeah, having seen Sarsfields live last week against Middleton, I just saw highlights of the Douglas and Ballyhea game. Great to see, looking forward to seeing Owen Cadigan playing. He's named at 5 for playing out wing back. Obviously Shane and Alan Cadigan as well. So looking to keep an eye on them, and any other lad that player, on the Sars side, Jack O'Connor, Owen Murphy on our panel at the moment, and looking to see if anyone else shows up.
Simon Stokes is our match referee this evening. Teams falling into position, and we'll keep an eye out for any late changes from the teams that we were given a few moments ago. We're off and going, and it's Sars with Owen Murphy. Come back with plenty of fresh exchanges there in the centre of the field. Good first time pull there by Aaron Myers. It's easily taken up there in front of us, and it's out with Cillian O'Donovan. Great first time effort right into the corner towards Alan Cadigan. And Cadigan from about 50 yards, and that is a great strike by the county star. And a signal of intent there, Ger.
Yeah, interesting there. Look, he won that ball. Like he's gone into centre forward with a bit, he's playing. Denny Carney has picked him up, and you can hear it as in he called for the ball from the pass from Cillian O'Donovan to up the wing. Won a great ball, and off his favourite left side, hit a beautiful score. That's the start that Douglas were looking for. So interesting. Shane Kingston's gone inside, and Cadigan out centre forward.
Okay, at the other end it's Liam Healy, and Healy nailing the equaliser there. Scored 1-7 last week. Kind of a big puck out there by Alan Kennedy, and Healy perfectly positioned to pick up the break and snatch it over.
Yeah, good hurler this lad, Liam Healy. Colm really, when he's on the ball, very good
so
hands.
About 21, is it?
He was, he played in the Cork under 20 team that played last year in the All Ireland final against Tip, and he's a very good hurler.
Massive puck out by Doyle Maher, but it's only as far as a Sars man, and that being Daniel Carney over the far side with the wing back Conor O'Sullivan. Great ball by O'Sullivan. He's trying to pick out Dylan Walsh. Walsh showing a clean pair of heels there onto his right. Strike from distance from Walsh. The home crowd over there were willing it over, but the umpire has waved it wide. Bit of pace about this lad.
Yeah, and I suppose that's why he's out there. He's going to be marking on Cadigan, so they're probably putting him on there maybe to maybe have a bit of a free rein and try to take on Cadigan every chance he can.
Goalkeeper opting to go short out to his full back to Conor Kingston. And it's Sars now on a foot race on inside here, and it's taken by the corner forward by Cian Darcy. It's skill by Darcy. Players slipping a small bit in the opening few minutes, and he's gone to ground there as Dylan Ward gets it out, and it's running up here alongside us with Owen Dolan, but he's dispossessed and recycled all the way back as far as Killian Roach. Roach again, first time effort in towards Darcy. But there's reinforcements aplenty there, and it's Connor Kingston does well to get it out in the end. Cadigan, lovely soft pass by Owen Cadigan, and surely that's going to be a free there for a late body pull there from the cornerback from Donal English.
Yeah, very good composure there, playing the ball out from the Douglas backline. Once they got it, they controlled it well, got it out to the half back into Owen, and nice little pass there, and just gives Shane Kingston a chance to put Douglas ahead again.
And Shane Kingston does just that, and pushing it out to 2 points to 1.
That's an important free from Cullen, because he missed a couple last week by all accounts against Ballyhea, so good for him to get a good start and get that one and put it over the bar.
Our friend there, James Sweeney, the Swan, soaring into the air, back to Donal Enright, and Enright the cornerback who scored a point last week. Well, or Donal English, excuse me, has done it again. Point last week. He impressed actually.
Yeah, he played very well last week as well. As you said, the ball out to Sweeney, long puck out, won the ball back to Donal English, and off his left hand got a very, very good score, similar to the one he got last week.
Powerful puck out again by Donal Maher, who made his debut against Ballyhea, and in the end it's found its way all the way to Owen Dolan, and Dolan from a similar position to the opening score from Alan Cadigan has put it over the bar.
Very good score again. Puck out, broke, ball to him just inside on the 45 metre line on the sideline, and off his left hand put a great score over the bar.
You're watching the Co-op Superstores Cork Premier Senior Hurling Championship clash of Douglas and Sars. Our coverage tonight with thanks to the Co-op Superstores, the sponsors of the competition, and it's been a brilliant weekend for them with some tremendous games across the grades this weekend. Owen Cadigan losing possession there, and it's taken up by Liam Healy, and the shot in the end that's coming from James Sweeney, I think it was, that got it off in the end, but Owen Cadigan wouldn't be overly happy with being dispossessed like that.
No, he had a chance. He came on with the ball, and he had a chance to pass to Owen Dolan, who was 20 yards up the field, who came looking for the pass. Cadigan held it back and tried to play it out. Got turned over, ball inside to James Sweeney, and again off his left hand put it over the bar.
Good interplay again, and a great puck out by the goalkeeper right out to his midfielder, to Steve Moylan, and Moylan all on his own some, and more than happy to have a punt, and more than happy to have a point.
Very good score again. Great puck out by Donal Maher, who found Stephen Moylan all on his own in the middle of the pitch. Got a bit of a high tackle, but passed to the Keane Baldwin, and off his left hand hit a very good score. 4-3 to Douglas.
It's Sweeney again, as we saw how dangerous he is under the dropping ball. Douglas obviously very much aware of that strategy. Breaks out to the aforementioned Sweeney's on the 21, still Sweeney, and off his left, and that's his second point of the evening, and in as many minutes.
Yeah, again, he's looked again, very difficult to see down here how tall and how physical he is. Cullum, he's a big man. He's playing centre forward. He's a bit of a handful. He ball broke again. He used his size to and used his strength to push his man off, and again off his favourite left side he put it over the bar.
Donal Maher's puck out is getting great distance yet again, but on this occasion it's only as far as the Sars man. Paul Leopold was the man who took that clearance out in as far as Jack O'Connor. O'Connor scored a point last week in the victory against Middleton, and he's after getting his first score of the game here in Páirc Uí Chaoimh tonight.
Very good score from Jack O'Connor. Cullen ball brought down the wing, and this time his first touch was good. He won it and turned him onto his left side, going forward. Brian O'Neill tried to get the hook in, but Jack put it over the bar. That'll be good for his confidence.
Same area that the goalkeeper is targeting Donal Maher for his puck outs. There's been about 3 down that wing so far. It's resulted in 2 scores, and on this occasion it has resulted in a free being awarded for an arm around the shoulder of Mark O'Connor, and Shane Kingston standing over this one. Similar distance to his opening free, which he converted, but the angle much tighter on this occasion, 6 or 7 yards in from the sideline, and let's see how Kingston is going to manage on this occasion.
Yeah, it's a lovely strike, Cullum. Actually, it's all about the press, all about the pick. He rose it well, and that that one actually split the post. We were right behind it and had a great view of it.
Alan Kennedy, 2010 captain of Sars, great catch there by Aaron Myers. Works it back, and the footing left Cian Darcy on that occasion. He's trying to put Dylan Ward under pressure, and he is doing that. Ward forced to go back as far as his goalkeeper, who in turn is forced to go right across the field to his wing back all the way over there, Cillian O'Donovan, chasing after it, but O'Donovan being put under massive pressure there by Aaron Myers, but manages to shimmy his way out of trouble and deliver a huge crossfield ball all the way towards Alan Cadigan, and Cadigan being fouled as he was racing out for possession there, but cool composure by your wing back there, Ger.
Yeah, Cillian did very well. The pass across the pitch looked like to go out over the sideline, but he did well to hold on to it and then beat Aaron Myers down the wing in the tackle. He had a very good ball into Cadigan, who was coming across the goal. He was found by William Carney, so obviously the tactic of Alan Cadigan starting in the 40 didn't last very long, so he's gone back inside in a 2-man full forward line.
The free converted with ease by Kingston. That was probably the easiest one he's had of the trio so far. Kennedy's puck out, nearly dropping just about 10 yards outside the exclusion zone, taken up by the full-back Conor Kingston there, who kind of gets it across the ground, eventually out to Mark Harrington. Harrington, first time delivery in towards his full forward in on top of Shane Donegan, but it's taken out by the Sars defence. Leopold miscontrol there, but Aaron Myers rescuing the situation, and Myers on his bike there and in again towards his corner forward. This occasion it's Jack O'Connor. Great skill by O'Connor, leading two Douglas men on a merry dance, and what a goal! What a goal by Jack O'Connor. That was absolutely sensational. Referee though is blowing the whistle there, something happening further back the field, but that was a touch of class.
Brilliant
by the corner
goal,
forward.
brilliant goal. The referee was watching him, had his hand up for the foul by Mark O'Connor, but the ball was cleared down towards Jack O'Connor, who won the ball 40 metres out in the air, turned his man, and one of Jack's main strengths is his speed. He took him on, and was brave enough to go for goal when there was a score on. That's
two
a big
defenders
goal.
on top of him, the angle tightening with every stride, and he still stuck it.
He did well. Now he put the ball across the keeper. So as you say, he was under pressure from the two defenders, and but what was encouraging is that he went for the goal. He didn't back off it. He had great to see a situation when the goal is on that a forward will go for the ball and go for the goal.
Super score. I see Donald Maher is down receiving a bit of treatment there.
It's interesting to see the amount of players that are slipping column on the pitch. Around the the pitch looks absolutely magnificent, but similar to I think people it does take a while for it to get used to the pitch. It's a new pitch, and it doesn't. It's not cutting up in any shape or form, and sometimes players wouldn't be sure what kind of. It looks like it's a moulded stud for tonight, but there's no doubt in these pitches it has to be a kind of a steel or a six stud to hold your grounds, and it can be. It's not a very pleasant place if you have no confidence in your footing underneath you.
Especially if you're a cornerback and you've got someone like Jack O'Connor speeding at you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And as we've noticed as well too, Jared, this corner down here, we've had a couple of slips by the two corner forwards, by Cian and by Jack. Yeah. So I wonder, is it just located in that corner? But as you said, the pitch, it looks like the Crucible from up here. Absolutely fantastic, and a credit to the ground staff in Páirc Uí Chaoimh. Great puck out again by the goalkeeper Donald Maher, who's recovered from his knock. Hopefully the goal won't have knocked his confidence too much. As I said, made his debut against Ballyhay. So too did the cornerback Brian O'Neill last weekend, and that was an important opening day victory for them. Shane Kingston is the man that's on the ball. Now, we've seen him from frees. What's he like from play?
Well, it's a top class score, absolutely brilliant. He had a short sideline puck to Owen Dolan, who gave it back to him, and Shane just accelerated onto his left side, and from the sideline again really split the post. That's a big boost for him, So I think Douglas have started well. They've got 7 scores on the board, and they won't be too disappointed with the goal that they conceded.
Yeah, and as we saw though last week, Middleton had a flying start against Sars, but it's not even so much a game of two halves now, Ger, as 4 quarters, as we're seeing more and more.
Takes a bit of getting used to this 4 quarters, like, you know what I mean. There's we're nearly 13 minutes into the game, so we'll have a water break in a couple of minutes. And I suppose on a night like tonight, Colin, with the sun beating down, and maybe it's no harm that the players do get a chance to have a break, because it's sweltering heat down there.
Paul Leopold taking the sideline, but he won't be happy with that delivery, and I'm sure his inside forward line won't be happy with it. Gone straight out over the end line. Douglas restarting very quickly on the far side there with Owen Dolan, but Dolan swallowed up very quickly, and great to see a corner forward. I think it looked to be Jack O'Connor that got in the tackle. Myers trying to rescue the situation as well, but it's back with Steve Moylan, and it's now with Conor Kingston off his right, and
that's the full back, Colin.
Not bad for your full back.
That's a great score. Like, Conor will be more well known as a wing back, but this year they seem to put him back in full back and playing around Callaghan out at right half back, but he went up in support of his man there and took the pass, and on the run put a great ball over the bar.
Great delivery down into the danger area and down into Cian Darcy, being harassed and harried though superbly by Cadigan, forced out as far as James Sweeney now trying to build up ahead of steam, but he was being pulled back, the referee deemed, and that's going to be a free, and he was taking the same route that Cian Darcy took a few moments ago, but the referee deemed that there was a tug on the jersey, and that's going to be a free, and Liam Healy coming out to the 21-yard line now.
Yep, 14 minutes gone, and even Steven so far. Sars have a chance to go point to hit. It's a good open game. Balls, just using both teams using the open spaces really well. So I think both teams will be happy enough. Like, if they get to the first water break, and fairly in close proximity.
You're watching the Co-op Superstores Premier Senior Hurling Championship. It's the A2 group, by the way. Sars and Douglas here in Cork this evening. And our coverage, with thanks to the competition sponsors, the Co-op Superstores. I know a lot of people obviously unable to be here tonight. The 200 capacity still in play, and looks like it will be like that for some time to come, but I suppose we should be thankful at least that we have Gaelic games at the moment, given the lockdown procedure that is now in play in counties Kildare, Laois and in Offaly. Back with the action here on a beautiful evening for hurling on Lee side. And it's a dropping ball, and underneath it, well, trying desperately to get onto it is James Sweeney. Sweeney on the 14-yard line. The handling let him down, did it? Oh, great block getting across there, and bobbled up into the waiting arms of Dolmar. Was it Cadigan that got the block?
Cadigan got the hook in. He was James Sweeney was in, and tried to shorten the hurley, but great defensive play from Owen Cadigan to get the hook in and save a certain goal.
Okay, here come an attempt there, and a high tackle with Douglas coming out, but they're going to drive on with Owen Dolan, and Dolan, the referee, had seen the original pull across the neck and had allowed advantage, and when that came to naught, play going all the way back to the free, and good refereeing there by Simon Stokes.
Yeah, Owen Cadigan using all the experience there, Colin, when he went in, kind of ducked down a bit, like in order to kind of draw the high tackle around the neck and drew the free. This is a long way back now. This is your opposite, heading between the 65 and the opposite 45 for Shane Kingston.
Confidence high. Everything that he's hit tonight has turned to goal. Will he go short? Yeah, he's looking at an option down there, and racing after it is the corner forward.
Andy O'Callaghan,
Andy O'Connell, who is wearing is it 19 or 15?
He's wearing 15.
He's wearing 15 instead of Brian Turnbull tonight. As I said, a lot of chopping and changing on teams and positions and everything afterwards. So apologies if there's an odd name or two going astray here tonight. Once I get the goalkeepers right, anyway, Ger, that's the most important thing. But as you said, a nice, lively little 15 minutes, and I think the two sides happy enough with where they're at.
Yeah, 15 minutes gone, 15 scores on the board column. So it's been very, it's Páirc Uí Chaoimh is a fantastic pitch, wide open, lends itself to a good open game of hurling, and I think Douglas have come out all systems go. They won last week, and they know that this is the great opportunity, because if they lose tonight, they're going to have to face Middleton in a couple of weeks' time in a shoot-off to see who might get through into the quarter-final. So big opportunity for Sars, after last week. They were really impressive last week, and they'll be quite happy how they started. Sometimes playing a week afterwards you might be slow to settle, but they've settled well, and they look threatening inside. Sweeney has caused a few problems. He's got a couple of scores. Jack O'Connor is lively as well. They're looking to take on their men in every opportunity. So again, putting Cadigan back in corner forward after he started so well, I thought it would be an interesting tactic to see him at centre forward to see how he's done, but he's only had one ball into him and he was fouled for that one. So they need to get the ball into him. Sometimes they can a bit overplaying it a small bit out in the half back line of midfield. He's the danger man, he's their go-to man, and they need to get the ball into him as fast as they can.
Well, I suppose the same can be said to Sars. We've seen the pace of Keane Darcy and Jack O'Connor, and look at the damage that O'Connor did there with the only goal.
Yeah, I just think that Sars, to me, there's more of their forwards can threaten a score. Like Myers is well able to take a score. He scored 1-2 the last day. Healy's well able to score. James Sweeney, as we said, Jack O'Connor, Darcy. They have a couple of names, guys who can finish. The pressure, I think, is on the Douglas too, and Kingston and Alan Cadigan to get those scores for Douglas. So I think as I suppose as many as you can get these two on the ball, the better chance of getting the scores that they'll need.
A great pick out by the goalkeeper, arrowed it directly towards his centre forward Liam Healy, who's making hard work of eventually getting the ball away into his corner forward down there. And that lovely little piece of skill by Jack O'Connor, flicked it in over his shoulder to Dylan Walsh. And wearing number 22, Dylan trying to get an angle for himself off the 21, looks to have dropped short and easily taken by the goalkeeper, who in turn is going to go short out to his cornerback, and eventually finds its way to man right in front of us here, Cian Baldwin, midfielder. Baldwin opting to go to Mark O'Connor, and Mark O'Connor taking a shot from distance.
Super score. That's a super score.
I don't think he even realised himself that he had it on target. He was kind of looking at it there for a second. Beautiful. But super score indeed.
Yeah. If there's Douglas worked the ball out from the keeper out to Killian O'Donovan, across the field to Stephen Moylan, got the ball, and Stephen hasn't been much in the game so far, but a good pass out to Mark O'Connor, who was a very good striker of a ball, and put a great ball over the bar. It's a great score.
One Cadigan back here, opts to walk out to his centre back to Mark Harrington. Congratulations to Mark as well, the arrival of a third child to the Harrington household during the week. Wouldn't it be lovely to cap it with a win in the county championship? Shane Kingston showing huge pace here, and Shane Kingston showing huge accuracy as well. This man is hot tonight.
That's a real Kingston point. His trait, he's got a terrific burst of pace, and again, he's playing off Daniel Carney. He's not going to really follow him, so once Shane gets on the ball, he's going to look to take Danny on every single time. Took it on, got a great score off his right hand that time.
Great play as well too, the way Cadigan to Harrington as well too, just simple pop 20-yard passes as well, and great then to have your centre forward dropping out for it and then showing such speed. Paul Leopold back on sideline duties here. We'll be hoping for a better connection than his last strike. It certainly is, but I don't think anyone inside was waiting for it. And Doyle Maher has all the time in the world to get it out as far as Steve Moylan, but it's overshot the runway, and it's returned with interest, but thankfully Owen Dolan was back around helping out, and it's Moylan who's going to go route one on this occasion towards Alan Cadigan. A bit too high for him. Assistance coming there from his full forward Shane Donegan, but the ball going out over the sideline, and Cadigan himself will take it, looking for a quick option. Will he go back, or will he leave it? Yeah, he's going to leave it on this occasion. Mark O'Connor saying, I'll take charge of that, and bad decision by Mark, because he's only getting it as far as William Carney. Again, big shot in, but no one inside there waiting for it, and the goalkeeper having plenty of time to pick out a man, and that man is Owen Cadigan. He's drifted over to the other wing here in front of us, back to Mark Harrington. That was the interplay that led to the Shane Kingston score a few moments ago. This time it's in with Alan Cadigan, who's roamed all the way out to midfield for the ball, and is deemed to have overcarried by the referee Simon Stokes, and possession returning to Sars.
Just thought it was a tad harsh, Cullum. Carrigan got the ball, lost his footing again, turned onto his side and slipped, but it was up quick enough. I just thought that was a tad harsh.
Liam Healy on free taking duties. A bit quieter tonight than he was last week. 1-7 he finished with, but there's still plenty of game time here in Páirc Uí Chaoimh tonight. And Healy driving that one and driving it wide. So that'll be another blow there for SARS. We've seen there a couple of balls going in, Ger, and is it miscommunication or are they being overcooked or overhit? No one seems to be inside waiting.
Yeah, there's an awful lot of space inside there. You know what I mean? SARS forwards traditionally move around quite a bit, like, you know what I mean. So if the midfielder or the half back gets the ball and looks up and there's not much on, he has to go for the score. And there's a few now have landed maybe 10 yards short. So maybe SARS would look at maybe having a presence inside in the square there all the time. You've seen Jack O'Connor now and Cian Darcy.
Would you relocate young Sweeney in there?
Yeah, he seems to have gone in. He's playing in front of the D. They seem to have they do play a 3-man full forward and they kind of rotate one in front of the other two. But Cadigan is playing quite deep in front of him there now and has left his man off, and he's there to protect the backline inside there from that.
Shane Kingston from a sideline. That is a fantastic looking strike. Hits off the post and falls into the lap of the fullback Craig Leahy, who's calmly and assuredly getting it across, and eventually it's gone out over the far sideline there, despite the best efforts of Jack O'Connor to get onto it. Just too much pace in the delivery there.
Brilliant exhibition of sideline taking there again. Very unlucky for Shane Kingston, who would not be renowned as a sideline taker. Fantastic sideline, and unfortunately didn't go over, just hit the post and back into play.
Looks to be Killian O'Donovan who's going to take the sideline there. Killian seems to have moved across towards that wing with Owen in a kind of a free roll and drifting more towards us on this side of the field.
Yeah, he seems to have gone over. He seems to have picked up Aaron Myers, and he's kind of following him, and a lot of it is that he's playing on the far side of the pitch more so than this side of the pitch.
Daniel Carney, we haven't seen much of him tonight, but that's a fine strike by Carney, and that is an absolutely and back to what you were just saying a few moments ago about taking the shot.
The scores, yeah, it was a great score. He was back on his own 65-metre line, and got the ball, and he had a moment of space and just turned and very confident in his shot and split the post. A great Daniel Carney score.
Fantastic score. It must have been 80 yards, if not more. Now let's see what the Douglas response will be, and that looked to be a bit of a harsh call there on Mark O'Connor.
I thought that was a good call. I thought that one. I thought he overplayed it a bit. I thought it was the right call.
He's been pinballed in there by the SARS defence. Eventually comes to James Sweeney off his left, and I'll tell you, that's 2 fine scores back to back and badly wanted by SARS.
That's his third point of the game, Colm. I'm just wondering, would SARS, like Conor Kingston, would be maybe better, more renowned and more used to playing out in the half back line? Would they make a switch with Cadigan and put one Cadigan on James Sweeney, who tonight seems to be SARS' scoring in chief?
Back again with Daniel Carney, who's commented in the last few moments. Paul Leopold half locked down there, and SARS losing possession and finding its way back to Shane Kingston, who takes a heavy blow on the back from Daniel Carney. Kingston gone down in a bit of anguish there, and the referee coming over there to have a quick little word with Daniel Carney. Don't think it's going to be any bit of a card, it's just going to be a little tick into the notebook. But Shane Kingston, the wind knocked out of his sails, I think is the phrase.
I think it was just an opportunity for Dan. Yeah, Shane was kind of slipping, and an opportunity for Dan to get his hand there and get the tackle in there, like, you know what I mean. So I don't think it was anything malicious, and the referee was right not to give a card.
And he's bounced back onto his feet there. Let's see, he's given an exhibition from frees tonight, and that wonderful sideline effort as well. So unlucky just hitting the post. On this occasion, though, the distance and the angle too much, and that one trailing off and trailing wide. 27 minutes gone in the Co-op Superstores clash here this evening. Our live stream coverage right around Cork, right around the world, with thanks to the Co-op Superstores. I hope you're enjoying it, and if you're a SARS supporter, something tells me you'll be enjoying that wonderful effort from Aaron Myers out in the sideline.
What a brilliant score from a puck out. Caught it clean over Killian O'Donovan, who was 6'4", 6'5", so, and then turned onto his left hand from the sideline. Some tremendous score, really tremendous score.
I was impressed by Donald Maher's puck out for a young man. dropping
Seems
it
to
in.
be a tactic on Douglas from Donald Maher to call them. All the puck outs are going down to the left hand side here, like they seem to be, and they're all, it's obviously pre-planned tactic in some shape, to see what they can get out of it.
And to be fair, I think Sars have grown wise to that, and they're now flooding the bodies in when those deliveries are coming in and not letting anyone isolated. The goalkeeper taking a hefty blow there from Sweeney. The ball had been flicked back by Kingston, and Sweeney went in to tackle him, and the goalkeeper has gone down in a heap. I think it was more accidental.
Yeah, I don't think it was anything malicious. He definitely left a hurley there, but it looks like maybe that Donald maybe got it in the elbow, which can be quite painful and quite sore. But I think he's going to, referee is talking to him. I think he could give him a yellow because he did leave the hurley there. But I think Donald will be fine. I think he'll brush himself down and have a look to see what's happening with James Sweeney and the referee, and then he'll be ready to go.
Yellow card, exactly. I don't think it was a strike per se, more the momentum the goalkeeper carried himself into it.
I agree.
Anyway, Donald is most importantly the recovery, the miracle Lourdes water or whatever the equivalent from the Lourdes, the Douglas Lourdes medical supply case has worked its wonders, and he's back out and didn't do any harm to his puck out distance either. And in the end, the shot coming in from Owen Cadigan, and the shot from Owen Cadigan is a wonderful point.
I'm just saying to myself, Douglas, haven't really got Cadigan into the game, but again he came out searching for the ball, came out behind, peeled off Shane Kingston, roaring for the pass, and we could hear him here, and then off his left hand, typical Cadigan, great score over his shoulder.
At least 4 minutes.
In case you didn't pick that up, 4 minutes of additional time. James Sweeney is the man on the ball. Sweeney with the shot, and Sweeney right over the crossbar. He's screaming back to the referee. Didn't seem to be happy with something there, but I think
it was 4 points in the first half alone. So he's taken on the form column that he had in the second half last week against Middleton. I think that
which was crucial, wasn't it?
It turned out crucial in the game. He got 3 fantastic scores, and I'm just wondering, would Douglas be better to have Cadigan pick up James Sweeney and bring Conor Kingston out into the half back line?
We'll keep an eye on how all of that develops down there, but let's keep up with the play. And Dylan Walsh brought to ground there, despite the protestations from Killian O'Donovan, who was deemed to have fouled him. And
seems to be a bit of sign language between Stephen Moylan and the goalkeeper there in relation to the puck out. I think he just slightly hit it over Stephen's head, and the ball was blocked down by Aaron Myers, and these could be vital scores just before half time.
Exactly, and we have about 4 minutes of that additional time to play here tonight. Absolutely fantastic evening. The sun still hanging high in the sky here over Cork City. Absolutely glorious evening for hurling, and these two fine city sides as well too, serving up a masterclass for us. Mark Harrington is at midfield, opts to go as back to Stephen Moylan, who Ger mentioned a few moments ago. It's with Dylan Ward now, the cornerback. Puts his wing back Killian O'Donovan under a bit of a pressure, but O'Donovan does well to recover, but the time it's taken him means that he's sucked in about 3 Sars players and is deemed to have overcarried the ball, and possession going back to Sars.
Just seemed very lateral there, Cullum, like they're going across the pitch 3 or 4 passes, and I was looking inside, and Cadigan was making darting runs to the corners either side, looking for the ball to be played into him. And I just think when you have someone like him inside there, maybe he should be hitting the ball into the corner.
Quick puck finds Liam Healy, and Liam Healy from out on the right hand side has driven it wide, but good thinking by Sars though, the speedy free there to get Healy into position, and at least had the shot anyway. But yeah, as Ger said, kind of lateral movement on that occasion instead of route 1 for Douglas. This time it's route 1 with Owen Dolan trying to pick it up. They're surrounded by 3 players. One of those was the cornerback, Killian Roach, who works at back. And now it's out with Paul Leopold, the centre back. Calls inside for Paul to deliver it, and that is what he does. But good play by Harrington to manage to dispossess the corner forward inside there. Takes a an arm around the shoulder too for his troubles. Has a quick free, but too quick, says the referee. But Harrington showed a bit of guile there against young Keane Darcy to kind of get his body in the way.
Absolutely, just let the ball through and played it from the other side, so just a bit of experience there to let the ball through. Easy free there by Liam Healy. It was a kind of a lazy free to get the arm in around. Have we a chance here for Douglas?
We look to have a chance there for Douglas, but it kind of spilled out, and it's going to be a free in. And the applause that's coming down there is from Andy O'Connell. Very happy with the referee's decision there, but a bit of danger there under that high ball on top of Shane Donegan. Sars a bit at 6s and 7s, breaking it out, and the end result is a free which Shane Kingston is now standing over.
Yeah, good play from the forward, Douglas forwards there. Really put Killian Roach under pressure, and referee blew him for throwing the ball away.
Powerful puck out there from Alan Kennedy, showing that he's got plenty of length as well. Ball breaks for Healy perfectly. Healy on the 14-yard line. Healy with the bullet right into the bottom corner of the net. Route 1 all the way. Huge puck out from Alan Kennedy. The big man, the Swan, James Sweeney, broke it down. It was like a rugby offload. Liam Healy, the centre forward, perfectly positioned. 10 yards later, into the bottom corner. Donald Maher had no chance. Game on, Ger.
Yeah, long, as you say, Route 1 puck out from Alan Kennedy, down on top of James Sweeney, who had Conor Kingston behind him, Owen Cadigan in front of him, and he somehow got the ball to break. He won the ball broke in. Liam Healy took a chance, had gone in behind Sweeney and Kingston for the breaking ball. And I just watched James Sweeney as Liam Healy got it. He fist pumped it. He knew the chances are Liam Healy, who's such a very good hurler and a very good finisher, put the ball away down to the bottom corner. Big goal before half time.
Huge goal just before half time. But you have to say the awareness of Healy, knowing that Sweeney under the ball, there was only one place he needed to be, and he got there at pace.
Well, sometimes we forwards, especially out in the half forward line, centre forward especially, sometimes you gamble and take a chance that the ball will come in, and Sweeney being a huge target under the puck out, all it needed was for the ball to break, and the ball just broke down into his lap, and sometimes you must gamble, and 9 times out of 10 they mightn't come off, but the one time that when you get a chance it goes through, you take the chance, you live in hope that you get that chance. And excellent finish, really took a chance, took on the ball, bottom corner, really good finish.
You'd have to feel sorry from a Douglas perspective, had done quite a lot right and now find themselves looking at a much larger margin.
Yeah, I suppose you look at it, 13 scores to 12. It's been quite open at times. 2-11 for Sars, 12 points for Douglas. I think Douglas have played well. I think they've done well. Getting a couple of things I would look at again. Can they get the ball quickly into Alan Cadigan? He's got 1 point. He's got 2 points. Sorry, but again they need more. They're looking at Cadigan to get their scores. Shane Kingston as well, getting on the ball, has started really well. I think when they look back in the first half and you look at the scores, James Sweeney has had an influence nearly on a goal and 4 points. And I was just wondering, again, I'll maybe repeating myself, but would Cadigan be tougher, harder and more experienced on him to be able to mark him rather than Conor Kingston, who's not a natural full-back, much more at home playing wing-back, even though he has done a lot of good things and came up for a great score in the first half. I just think maybe the Douglas setup might be a bit better if Cadigan was back in full-back.
Okay, in terms of some of the other games around this weekend, I suppose no surprise in the Middleton game last night?
No, I think Middleton, we saw them last week that when the game was over against Sars, their body language was down. They looked very deflated. But again, it's probably the best thing that can happen to you. Sometimes, Colin, when you lose a match, you don't have time to think about it. You've got to turn it around straight away. And they knew their championship was on the line if they didn't get a performance last night and they went down. And by all accounts, their second half performance was really good. They would have been expecting to beat Ballyhale last night. They're now back in the competition. Looking at, they have 2 points and they have 1 game to go against Douglas, and that could be winner take all.
that last weekend of the group games is going to be absolutely phenomenal. Just some other scores I was looking at today. Great result for Erin's Own after last weekend beating Bishopstown by 2 points.
Yeah, I was listening to the match today, listening to it on the radio, and in the first half, Bishopstown again, like we're 8 or 7 or 8, 9 points up again, very similar to last week, and but for some reason they're not seeing it out, and Erin's Own looked dead and buried. I think it was 1-9 or 1-10 to 5 points at one stage in the first half. Got the goal before half time that gave him, kept him in the game, and by all accounts just took over and dominated the second half, and that's a big win for them because both of those teams had lost last week. Erin's Own would have been disappointed with their performance against Blackrock. Obviously Bishopstown put themselves in a great situation to win that game last week, but maybe would have had doubts that they were 8 points up with 12 minutes to go against Newtown and lost by 3. That was an 11-point turnaround. So it's a big win for Erin's Own, and now they'll finish up playing Newtown next in the last game again, and that should be very interesting.
Glen Rovers and Carricktool, were you surprised given the performance here last weekend by Glen Rovers and already being talked about champions in waiting?
I'm not surprised that they won. Obviously, I think their performance last week was really, really good. But as you say, sometimes it's not easy to go to come out and play in a pitch as good as Páirc Uí Chaoimh, to go down to a tighter club pitch as in what Cove is. They would have listened to all the talk last week about how impressive that they were. So sometimes you can be caught on the rebound as well. Carricktool fighting, they got a good point against the Pierce last week at the end of the match when in the game they probably could have won. So it was a difficult game for the Glen, like from the point of view of getting the minds right. They'll be happy now. They have 4 points. They look well in a position to qualify for the quarterfinals. But Carricktool still have something to play for. They play the Bars in their last match, and depending how the Bars get on tomorrow.
Okay, one of the other ones I was just looking at, Newcestown Kanturk, a massive scoreline, and that was it 3-13 to Kanturk. Newcestown won.
Yeah, I was at that game. I was at that game. Very enjoyable, very good contest. Game looked all over halfway through the first half. Kanturk hit Newcestown for 3 goals in 5 or 6 minutes. 3 blitz, three very similar goals. But Newcestown are a very hard team, a dogged team. They've a lot of the same players play hurling and football, and they claw their way back into the game. I think they brought it back to a 1-point game with a couple of minutes to go, and had a chance or two to get level. But a monster score from Anthony Nashman free from his own 45-metre line put 2 points ahead of. That was a crucial score in the game. So very enjoyable contest. Kanturk, have some very good players, some young promising players. Young Alan Walsh, young Brian O'Sullivan, along with Lochlan McLaughlin's frees today were excellent. He was really, really good. So they'll be very happy with where they are. They have a chance now to go, to top the group. Newcestown will play, I think, Killa in the last match, so they're still there. They have 2 points on the board, so still all to play for. But they're now looking at a football local derby next week against Castlehaven, so really, really difficult for them. Okay,
we'll be back with the second half of this Co-op Superstores clash between Sarsfields and Douglas in just over 40 seconds. But first, let's hear from our sponsors, the Co-op Superstores. Indeed to the Co-op Superstores partnering with us in the Irish Examiner for our live stream coverage, and of course the sponsors of all the championships here in Cork this season. The sun starting to vanish slightly. It's still blinding though on my left hand side, but the floodlights on here in Páirc Uí Chaoimh, I must say it is absolutely an incredible sight.
It's spectacular when you see the lights on the far side here. The new lights, they look absolutely magnificent, and it's just what a fantastic stadium that we have here. Absolutely incredible, and won't we look forward to seeing it in brighter days ahead with capacity crowds for championship games, and hopefully those days aren't too far away for all of us. So Douglas now desperately trying to crawl their way back into this game after that concession of a shot goal just before half time, and Steve Moylan is the man that is in possession. Well, it's Mark Harrington now, and Harrington right on the 65-yard line, and Harrington has driven that one wide
impressed last week, hitting 2 points in the game against Ballyhay, but the accuracy off there, and how Douglas badly needed a storming start to the second half, Ger.
Yeah, I think it's very important for him, Colm, to come out and get a couple of early scores, get him, keep him in the game. Mark O'Connor got a great early ball there. Cadigan again peeled around for the ball for the pass, but Mark went across the field 60 or 70 yards, whereas the easier ball was to hit Alan Cadigan, who would have been in range for him to score. But actually Douglas has started well again in the second half, but they need to get a couple of scores on the board to keep himself in the game.
Okay, great interplay there, all started by Mark Harrington, and it's Shane Kingston who's going to finish it, and Shane Kingston does what Shane Kingston does best, and that's putting the ball over the bar, and that was the start, the delayed start that Douglas needed to this second half, as they're trying to crawl their way back into it in this Co-op Superstores Senior Hurling Championship clash, Premier Senior Hurling Championship clash in Porky Queeve this evening. Ball to the goal scorer, to Liam Healy from about 40 yards out, right on the sideline. An effort from him, and that one has trailed past Donald Maher's right hand post and gone out wide.
Great intent there from Kingston with that ball. Colm, when he won the ball, he really took it on again. He took Danny Carney on. He's attacking him at every opportunity, and it's a big score.
Cadigan being swallowed up and forced to go back as far as his midfielder to Keane Baldwin. It's with Cadigan yet again, and Cadigan off his left, despite the best efforts of William Carney coming across him, gets the shot off, and that's 2 for 2 for Douglas.
That's the interplay that Douglas need. Like, they brought Cadigan out at wing. He looks to come out at wing forward. He fooled us at the start of the match by coming out, but he seems to be playing out left half forward now at this stage. And a bit of interplay there between himself and Kingston. Won a great ball and swiveled around and put a lovely ball over the bar.
And it looks like the Douglas management team were listening to you there, Ger. I saw there just a few seconds ago that Owen Cadigan was marshalling big James Sweeney there for a few moments. We'll keep track if that is his new posting.
Yeah, he's on a yellow card. He's for the tackle in the first half and Donald Maher, so he's got to be careful. One silly tackle, Hurley swaying. He's a big man. If he hits people in a tackle, he might hit him in the wrong place because he's such a tall man. So he's just got to be careful. And I can just imagine Owen Cadigan inside in his ear now at the moment.
Referee having a few little words
with the linesman,
yeah,
just to get a second opinion. Cadigan seems to be gone on Sweeney now this stage from the second half. He seems to be kind of going with him wherever he goes. Conor Kingston has picked up Dylan Walsh.
Shane Kingston,
yeah, difficult one, like a long way out on the sideline.
All watching it, and it's gone out wide, about 3 or 4 yards past Alan Kennedy's post. But that was a huge test of Cadigan's capabilities. They're all onto it. It's bouncing its way up towards man wearing number 24. Is that Daniel Hogan that's after coming in there, Ger? We'll check back there in a second, but let's keep up with the play here in front of us. And Sars breaking down that far wing with Shane Kingston. Still Kingston, he's going this way and that way, screams for overcarrying. Still Kingston, and the shot from Kingston, and a block that came across there from Owen Murphy. Kingston has gone to ground.
What a class score from Shane Kingston. Colm, though, he took him on, he won the ball 60 metres from goal, looked to be under pressure, hopped it off the ground, got it back up again, got back into play, and off his right hand turned in, and just as he put the ball over the bar, he got a high tackle from Owen Murphy, who could be in trouble here with a yellow card at least. Yeah,
could be in serious trouble, because Kingston straight onto the ground. As you said, it was an incredible piece of skill by the centre forward, who took it the bones of 50 yards anyway at least, and showing a variety of skills. And Owen Murphy, as you said, in trouble with a yellow card. It's
In fairness to Kingston, though, Cullum, he was in the second half started. Now he has shown great intent and great leadership. Take the game to SARS at this stage. Like, they were in trouble at half time, 2-11 to 12, and they've come out in the second half now, and 5 minutes gone in the second half. Like, they have the lead back down to a point.
Yeah, it does look like Daniel Hogan there wearing number 24 has gone in, and he is he at a full forward, or is it a case that Conor Kingston is just marking him?
He's gone man marking him now. I think they've made the switch. They've put Cadigan on James Sweeney to man mark him everywhere he goes. SARS do play. They do play the 5 or 6 up front all the time. I think you'll find just guys will go with men. Daniel Hogan is a great prospect and highly rated in SARS. Captain of Cork minor team last year. He's still playing minor this year with SARS under 18 and with that club level. Missed their game during the week with Middleton due to suspension for a previous red card. But a lot of SARS people have a lot of high hopes for him. He came on the last.
He came on as something,
and did really well. You know what I mean? He plays wing forward as his kind of position. So he's come on, and I think that Dylan Walsh has made way.
Okay, still concerned here just on Shane Kingston. He's still on the ground, and the referee now is standing in over him as well. 2 medical staff there. He's moving his arms anyway, and
he's moving at least, but no doubt, like, his full focus would have been on trying to get a score, and when you get a tackle like that late on, not expecting it, but he'd be a severe loss to Douglas if he had to go off. But hopefully that knock won't take too much out of him, because he's been brilliant in the start of the second half.
Not just to Douglas, Ger, wearing your other hat, back with the play here in front of us, and it's out with Conor Kingston. And Kingston delivering it in towards the corner, but too much pace in that for Andy O'Connell, and it runs out over the sideline.
Yeah, not much options there. Like, he was looking for a bit of support from anyone behind him, and he looked up and overhit the ball in over the corner forward. And there was one bounce here. The pitch is, as I said, is rock hard, and if it doesn't go to a man when it hits the ground, it's gone. So it bounced over the line wide. Yeah, it's Jack O'Connor here now.
O'Connor again. We saw what he could do in the first half at pace. Great tackle coming in, though. All credit to Brian O'Neill there to dispossess him, and wonderful play by Douglas to transition that one out. Dropping and watching it all the way, though, was Craig Lee, who gets a hand in it, and eventually it's taken up. Is it Daniel Carney that gets it and works it right across the field there to Conor O'Sullivan.
Shane Kingston doesn't look anyway fit to carry on at the moment, Colin. He's really, since the ball went in there, the physio is still with him. He's still giving him some attention here off camera.
Steve Moylan will you keep an eye on Shane, and we're with Owen Cadigan twisting and turning and delivering it, and it's a poor ball. It's right in on top of Owen Murphy, the man that got the yellow card a few moments ago for that tackle on Shane Kingston. Back with the other cornerback, Conor O'Sullivan, to Murphy. Murphy just outside 65 yards in the shot from him, but it's trailed off wide. Yes, indeed, the hands in the hip on Shane Kingston, and he's still walking very gingerly after all of that. And we see a substitute is coming on there on the far side of the field for SARS, again with the social distancing protocols and everything like that. The 2 sides on opposite sides of the pitch, and it's the centre back Paul Leopold that's gone off, and it's Tyg Og Murphy who's coming on. Yeah,
very experienced player to have Tyg Og on your bench to be able to bring him on with 20-25 minutes to go. He's been around a long time, will be very lively around the middle of the pitch, and has a lot of experience to add to the team.
Great hands there by Craig Leahy. Wonderful play, and Conor O'Sullivan taking possession from that piece of fielding now. Tussle there between Cadigan and Sweeney, and the classic Cadigan showing there. Harrington, that's Mark Harrington into Shane Kingston. Well, he was on the ground a few moments ago. Shane Kingston, though, is back up on his feet. Didn't look to be too sluggish on that occasion. Cornerback being put under huge pressure here, and a great snapshot in the end being taken by the corner forward Andy O'Connell. And that was a good harassing play by Douglas.
Yeah, that was sloppy by the SARS defence. They outnumbered them 3-2, and a bit of panic inside it when the ball broke. Conor Sullivan just kind of flicked it away, but hit it straight to Andy O'Connell, and a very good score. And
for the second time there, the ball being dropped down on top of big James Sweeney, and on this occasion a foul being committed. And it's going to be free there for Liam Healy to take, but I think as you said, Cadigan will will be more of a test now for Sweeney.
He will. He'll be. I think he'll just use his experience to him to try and nullify Sweeney. Like Sweeney is a handful, as I say, size-wise. We spoke about him last week and how difficult he is to mark. But you got to be careful. Any high tackle or anything above head high, he could potentially get some frees as well. So again, that's just free from Healy tipped over the bar. Just keeps them ahead.
2-12 to 16 points in this Co-op Superstores clash here, with thanks to the Co-op Superstores who are partnering with us for all our live streaming of the Cork Hurling Championship this season. What a weekend we've had with the Irish Examiner. 3 matches, this being the third of the 3. Tygold Murphy just on a few moments ago, the ball spills away from him, and Douglas coming there with Steve Moylan, drops it, taken up by Aaron Myers. He loses possession. There's a real dogfight there, and it's Donal English scored the point a little earlier, scored a point as well too last weekend. Great play by your cornerback into Jack O'Connor. He loses again. Sweeney getting into the mix as well. Falls to Jack O'Connor. Shot by O'Connor, and a blaster into the bottom corner of the net. And the Douglas defence really caught napping there. Yeah,
great goal again from Douglas. Jack O'Connor took on the ball. He won the initial ball from the crossfield ball, won it, and then lost the ball was tackled by Brian O'Neill, lost the ball. Fairness to Cian Darcy, won it back again and split the defence with an overhead pass. And Jack O'Connor went near side. Keeper thought he was going to go to the far side, beat him on the inside, and cracking goal down low again. That's a big plus now for SARS.
That's a huge plus for SARS, pushing it out to 3-12 to 16 points. James Sweeney was down the ground. He's back on his feet there. Mark Harrington being put under a bit of pressure there by Conor Kingston's high delivery. And speaking of high, there was a high arm there around Harrington's neck. But to his credit, doesn't make a meal of it. Bounces straight back up onto his feet and hands over the free-taking duties there to... well, it looked to be Cian Baldwin standing over it, but Shane Kingston said, no, I'll have a go. So this will be an interesting test now for Kingston after that collision he had there with Owen Murphy a few moments ago.
It's dead centre, but it's just a question of whether it should be within his range. Parted now score for Douglas to get a point back after conceding that hammer blow of a goal.
Different class.
Yeah, it's a great, again, leadership when it's required, took it on, went out, looked to take the free straight away.
But he's as you said though, just even watching him after that free, he's very sluggish, walking back into position.
It has knocked him all right, but fair play to him. Showed great leadership to come out and take it on and to put it over the bar. Just still like Cullum, you look at Douglas, they're winning a lot of ball on the middle, but I just like to see them hit Cadigan a bit earlier, they seem to be overplaying it a small bit out in the half back line.
Putting themselves under pressure there. Brian O'Neill eventually being fouled there, but under huge pressure. There's another Douglas player down on the ground.
That's Cian Darcy again. I said with a leg trip. I think he was the guy that threw in the hurley for the last free that Shane Kingston scored again. So for multiple tackles, I'd imagine that he's gone in Simon Stokes' book.
Yeah, it looks like we may have a forced departure there. I think it's Dylan Ward is the man that is receiving the treatment there, but the signal from the medic was that a sub would be required.
Yeah, he's come into the team tonight instead of Donegal Murphy, who got injured last week against Ballyhay. So this will be a blow to him now if they've lost another cornerback, and he looks as if he's in elbow in some shape or form,
or an arm or something. Yeah. And the referee is confirming that a new man is being required.
Yeah, number 17, Cullum Lucy, who's is coming on for them.
Of course, Dylan, well known as a footballer as well, played the Cork Miners.
Yeah, but Conor Kingston now is going to go back in cornerback and take up marking Cian Darcy or Jack O'Connor, and I think they've brought in Cullum Lucy in at right half back.
So yeah, Cullum Lucy is the man in, and Dylan Ward's night is over.
I need to make another substitution as well. Cullum, can't see the number. White helmet number 20.
Number 23 was Conor Russell, another footballing talent.
Footballer guy, yeah, has. I think he got a couple of good big scores last week in the intermediate game, and I think that he scored 7 or 8 points against Mealan. So obviously a man in form. So hopefully we'll see if he can make a difference.
And Andy O'Connell is the man that's made way. Russell, an All-Ireland winning footballer with the Cork under-20s with their fantastic victory last year. Here's a man that knows a bit about football as well, and that's Owen Cadigan. Offloads it perfectly to Cian Baldwin, and that's a fine score by the midfielder Baldwin. All the hard and dirty work being done by the wing back Owen Cadigan, and Baldwin happy to tap it over the bar from about 40-50 yards.
Very good score again from Cian Baldwin. Again, Cadigan won a good ball. He initially won the ball and hand passed it to Colm Lucy, who got into a bit of trouble. Won it back again, took it on, went forward, drew the man and hand passed it to Baldwin, who's got a second point, and that's a very good score. Keeps Douglas in the game. Colm, they've reacted really well every time that they've been dealt hammer blows with goals. So they're still now back within the 1-score game. They're 3 points down, but they haven't really threatened for a goal all through the match. But they may need one to win it.
Yeah, but like the goal scoring threat of SARS and the timing of it has been hugely important for it.
Yeah, they've gone up the field every single. They do look a threat up there. Like, they have the guys up there who could potentially who can punish you when they get a chance. Jack O'Connor's got 2 really good goals tonight, and Liam Healy, 3 outstanding goals. But in fairness to Douglas, they're hanging in there. They've scored more times than SARS have. Like, they've got 18 scores in the match, so they're really in the game tonight. They're playing well, but I'd just like to see Cadigan get on. If they can find a way of getting him into the game, getting him on the ball, I think he'll be the guy, plus Kingston, that'll get them the scores. Notice
just on the stats beforehand, Shane Dunnigan, the full forward, he's 6'4". We've seen what a big man is doing in terms of James Sweeney. Is that an opportunity lost for Douglas?
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be standing on the square. Their style of play seems to be hitting the ball. Like Alan Cadigan, likes the ball, likes to go from centre to likes the ball out to the side. So they seem to be hitting Alan Cadigan more so than Shane Dunnigan. So, but again, he's a big man inside there, and so breaking ball will maybe come off him as well. So we're into the last 47 minutes gone. We're into the last 15 minutes of the game. 1 goal between them, 3 points between them. So interesting to see now has the water break given any side a chance here to reassess where they're at, and interesting last quarter of an hour.
And as we've seen, these water breaks, they're momentum makers or momentum killers over the course of the opening weekends of both the football and the hurling championships. Sarsfields, Alan Kenny getting us restarted out as far as William Carney. Route 1 direction there from Carney. James Sweeney looking under it. So too is Owen Cadigan. And Cadigan classy all the way, and a lovely delivery to him from out as far as Owen Dolan. Great ball into the corner forward. It looks like the new man, is it?
It's Mark O'Connor. There's a chance for Baldwin for point number 3 if he can put it over.
And that would be 2 back-to-backs from Baldwin, but no, the accuracy leaving him off there. He didn't have as much time to maintain composure for that delivery there. Aaron Myers. Great ball in towards the corner forward to Jack O'Connor. Connor's shot gone wide up, and all these little misses though will be giving Douglas an extra bit of hope as well as we come down the final stretch.
Yeah, Aaron Myers doing very well there again to win the puck out cleanly from over Cillian O'Donovan, who's a big man himself. But Myers is good under the ball and a good hand, and hit a good ball into Jack O'Connor.
Now down in front of us is Shane Kingston, switches onto his left hand side, and that is well, we're running out of superlatives for Shane Kingston tonight.
Really, really good score again. Shane is kind of just maybe playing his way back into the game after the heavy blow that he got there from Owen Murphy. Again, an inspiring score. Keeps him in the game. Ball broke, turned onto his left hand, and struck a great ball over the bar.
And as you said, leadership being key there. High strike there on looked to be Cian Baldwin that got the connection. It was Donal English, the corner back on this occasion, and looks like I'd say we're preempting it here, writing down yellow cards. Well, I think Simon Stokes following up on that and getting it out of the pocket. Kingston all the way back.
changing the hurley. Something must be happening with the hurley he had just after getting all those scores, so he's had to change it.
Yeah, he was kind of looking at it just after that score, wasn't he?
It's a long way back, but to be an inspirational score if he can pop this one over the bar to put a point between them.
Shane Kingston from close on 90 yards had the distance, but the accuracy unfortunately was lacking, and a relief there for SARS. You're watching the Co-op Superstores clash, the Premier Senior Hurling Championship clash of SARS and Douglas on the Irish Examiner live stream, part of our partnership with the Co-op Superstores, and delighted that you're able to join us this evening. And a warm welcome wherever you're watching, and I think you'll all agree you've been treated to a feast of hurling tonight and indeed this weekend across the grades, with our coverage from Páirc Uí Rinn, from Des and Mark up in Mourneabbey a little earlier, and from the great Ger Cunningham here alongside me, with 51 minutes elapsed. On that occasion there, the ball going out over the sideline, and that's why it ended up as a sideline despite play progressing. Shane Kingston with the new hurley, trying to get in towards his full forward to the big man Shane Dunnigan. It's breaking down there. There's 4 or 5 of them trying to get on it, including Conor Russell, the new man. It's Dunnigan, the full forward, flicking it all the way back, but it's misread, and it's well taken there by Daniel Carney. Out as far as Conor O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan first time ball in as far as Jack O'Connor. Great control by O'Connor. There's plenty of players around him, but spots James Sweeney, who runs right into Cadigan, trying to get it back to Myers, but great play by Douglas on this occasion, dispossessing the big man and working it down to Alan Cadigan. Alan Cadigan from just over 66 yards out, and that is, we talk of inspirational scores from inspirational players, and that certainly, Jerry, is one of those.
And yeah, great score from Alan Cadigan, but again the experience of his brother Owen back and putting pressure on James Sweeney to turn over the ball, broke it onto Cadigan, and again turned back into his left hand from 65 metres out. Another brilliant score from Cadigan. Yeah,
and as you said, it's negating the threat of big James Sweeney inside there has been so crucial to Douglas down the stretch here. Ball all the way out there with one of their substitutes, the man wearing number 24, and he's getting a shot off there in the end, and that's Daniel Hogan, the young fella that you spoke so highly of. Has shown it at minor level, and he's showing it at senior level tonight.
He had a chance there as well, though. He could have, he had a chance. He had a 1-to-1. He got a great ball from Ben Graham, I think, who's come on the pitch as well at right half forward. Got a good ball in and tapped it over the bar.
Owen Cadigan is the man in possession now, 14 yards out, just in from the sideline. Nice little hop by Cadigan. Looks back, picks out Owen Dolan, and Dolan dispossessed. And SARS with James Sweeney racing after it, and so too is Owen Cadigan. Cadigan trying to keep him out there on the sideline. Cadigan slips, and Sweeney trying to make the most of it, but drives it wide, and maybe he didn't catch it in the peripheral vision that Cadigan had slipped, because there was an open field in front of him. But Cadigan now back on the ball and working it all the way back to his full back towards Conor Kingston.
I think he turned into his right hand there, his favourite left hand, so he had a chance, was Cadigan was on the ground. That was a good chance for James Sweeney to put another one between them.
Into play there, Daniel Carney had his back to it and didn't realise the pass was coming his way, but he had Killian Roach behind him helping him out. He's dispossessed, and it's Mark O'Connor to Shane Kingston. Kingston from distance. Kingston yet again leading by example for Douglas, and if there's one man that's keeping in this championship game, it's their centre forward, their county star, Shane Kingston. An exhibition of play by Kingston tonight, as Douglas looked to be warming up a sub down there, with Aaron Ward being the man that looked to be coming on, and who's going to be making way. We're going to keep track there now. 2 players coming in the direction of the sideline.
So Owen Dolan is coming off, I think, and Mark O'Connor's coming out to the wing. But great work by the Douglas forwards there to turn over the ball and getting the ball to Kingston to give him a chance. Really, their work rate has been really good tonight.
Great handling there by Aaron Myers, but a super block as he was getting the strike away.
The hand was up for the free again. Myers winning the puck out cleanly, and he's really been impressive tonight under the puck out. And that's the last you need to do, is just when you just come back into the game, you're back to bring it back to a point. And the puck out, was won cleanly, and maybe an easy enough free to concede, and gives Liam Healy a chance here to put 2 between them again.
And it was a great block in the end, actually, by O'Donovan.
It was, yeah, but Myers is winning the clean ball from him. I see Shane Brick down in front of him there, trying to give him some advice as to maybe try standing under Aaron Myers and stop him, try block the ball going to his hand. He's been impressive tonight under the puck out, and he's been Sar's go-to man. And
it's pushed it out to 3 goals and 14 points to 21 points, 23 points to 21. Well, we promised you an exciting tie here tonight. I don't think we could have predicted just how exciting. 2 Douglas players colliding with one another, and the 2 of them down on the ground there.
Again, referee blowing for free there. Alan Callaghan was going for the ball and seemed to get a push in the back and collided with his own player. So again, an opportunity here for Kingston to bring it back to 1 point with 7 or 8 minutes to go. So it's a ding-dong battle, and we've had some brilliant scores tonight, especially I think some of the point taking from Shane Kingston and Alan Callaghan, but especially from Kingston has been absolutely outstanding.
The 2 lads on young Callaghan is back on his feet, and there's still treatment ongoing for one of his companions as the free being taken by Shane Kingston, and that one has popped it over the bar, and it's pushing it out now to 3:14 to 22 points with just over 56 minutes gone of our Co-op Superstores clash here this evening. With thanks to the Co-op Superstores, the sponsors of the Cork Championships across all the adult grades this year, and a huge thanks to Jim Wolfe and the team up in Dairygold for their assistance in the course of our broadcast, and I'm sure they're enjoying the fare here tonight. And Jack O'Connor on the ball, but back as far as Aaron Myers, and Myers from about 35 yards, and that's wide. A great wide. It looked to be cheered over, but it's gone wide, and all in the melting pot with just a point between the sides. Owen Murphy taking a knee into the back there from Shane Donegan, and he's still down on the ground holding his helmet. Referee though allowing play to continue. It's the other wing back, Killian O'Donovan, who's getting the strike away, and that's dropping wide, and watched all the way by the goalkeeper Alan Kennedy. All the while Owen Murphy down here on the ground after that clash with Donegan. High ball between them, and Donegan colliding with Murphy's back, and he's down on the ground there now receiving treatment, and the referee has blown the whistle to hold things up. And I see the goalkeeper Alan Kennedy making the long walk. I don't think you ever had to do that in your career, did you, in a county championship game, to walk outside the gate and go and get the ball?
No, as I say, it's different circumstances. You say a bit surreal here at times. As you said, Owen Murphy back up on his feet now. He took a hefty blow from Donegan, who's a big man, came in from behind and seemed to catch him into the back. But game is on a knife edge here, Colm. It could go either way. Break of a ball can happen either side.
Mark Harrington, nice play out of defence, and great ball, pacey ball in towards the new man that's after coming on, the man wearing number 23, Conor Russell, better known as a footballer. But was that? No, it wasn't. The umpire waving that one wide.
And he showed the ball. He showed for it really well. He came out from full forward. He's gone in full forward column, showed for the ball, and there wasn't much in that one.
No, we were watching it here and I thought it was looking good, but the umpires took their time before making the call on it. Daniel Carney's attempted clearance was blocked, and in the end it's Donal English, I think, that took the blow across the head and the free being awarded.
Yeah, I think he blew for the Hurley tackle on Shane Kingston earlier on. I think Shane Kingston went for the ball, but it was just a fraction too late, and Hurley on Hurley. The referee was quite close to it, and if he didn't see it, he could hear it. So it certainly was. I think that was a free. So the referee now discussing with Mark Marr, the linesman here, and he's putting up 5. So I think there's 5 extra minutes left.
Good performance, I must say, by Simon Stokes too this evening, letting the game go, and good use of the advantage rule as well too.
I think we've been encouraging referees at this stage to to try let it go as much as possible. Sometimes we can be a small bit fussy with some of the technical frees, but you'd like to see them let it go as best you possibly can.
Healy's free there,
at least 5 minutes additional time,
going wide, And that leaves it at 3-14 to 22 points. Yeah, I can see Conor Kingston in a whole world of hurt there. He's trying to take it out, and it's been taken up by a SARS man, and that man is Jack O'Connor. O'Connor in the 21, still O'Connor, and O'Connor off the 14 and off his left, but has driven it wide. Yeah,
he did really well to turn it over and use
what was Conor Kingston
used his pace again. You know, it's going across the goal, playing a bit laterally. It's a bit dangerous now. That was a score that Jack O'Connor will be very disappointed he didn't tap it over the bar, because he was on his good side. He'd got away from his man and put it wide on his near side.
Well, if he was disappointed, relief, I'd say, was the overriding emotion in the Douglas backline, and especially with Conor Kingston. Great play there by the full forward Shane Donegan. He had the corner back for SARS under huge pressure and forced it out. He's a puck out, I know, for the goalkeeper.
You just knew what Conor O'Sullivan was doing there. Alan Kennedy gone over to the far side of the pitch, and Conor O'Sullivan was going to drive it right across the goal to him. So he did well to block it down.
Mark Harrington going past Healy, has help outside him from Keane Baldwin. Baldwin off his left, a great ball in towards Cadigan. Oh, lovely piece of skill there, trying to bring it up, but well marshalled, it has to be said, by William Carney.
By William Carney, really, like when he waited till the ball came up from Cadigan. And here's Sweeney. Big man, big arm up into the air, and a big shot from Sweeney. But he's driven it wide. 61 and a bit minutes gone. There's still just a point between the sides. Yeah,
the tension
chances,
here is palpable. What odds a draw?
Yeah. I'd say you get reasonable odds on the draw at this stage now.
Cadigan under it, and that man Carney yet again getting the better of him. It's spilling there on the ground. There's about 5 or 6 of them all around it, trying to get the ball up, and in the end it's Daniel Carney that's delivering it out towards his full-back. Great play by Craig Leahy. He opts to go across to his cornerback Donal English back to Leahy. Leahy looked across, but decides to go route one, dropping it high, about 21 yards out. It's taken by, and it's a goal.
Oh, it's a brilliant goal.
It's a goal. It looks to be goal. Daniel Hogan.
Daniel Hogan caught the ball. He's one of the smallest guys on the pitch inside in the full forward line. Caught the ball inside in the full forward line. Long delivery came in, and right edge of the square turned and just seemed to pass it into the net. What a
just really rolled it in. Just seemed to be a complete communication breakdown in the Douglas rear guard between Conor Kingston and
Stephen Moylan back there.
I think it was Moylan that was back there as well. Yeah,
it was Brian O'Neill or Stephen Moylan.
And there was, as you said, probably the smallest man on the field, Hogan, perfectly positioned. It wasn't even really a strike; it just kind of rolled it into the net.
Showed great composure to having won the ball. Keeper advanced, and he kind of passed it inside him, great goal from young Hogan.
Great ball from Daniel Carney to pick out Liam Healy, and the SARS heads are up, and that is another score for SARS. Douglas desperately trying to get the ball out. There's players with their backs turned to it, but the man in possession, Conor Russell, was watching it all the way, and he's after driving that one good to 5-6 yards wide. Not what Douglas needed, as we're ticking down in this absolutely thrilling Co-op Superstores clash here this evening. There's another player that's down, and that's James Sweeney. Referee telling him, get back up, play on. And I see Owen Cadigan as well, trying to marshal Douglas. Every score, of course, so crucial now in this new competition format, because on the final day all these scoring averages may indeed come into play. That was a wide there. I don't think you'll have too many complaints though from SARS, given that they've posted 4 goals and 15 points in this game, and Douglas with 22 points as we're heading towards 64 minutes. About a minute of regulation time here in Páirc Uí Chaoimh this evening. Centre back there is Mark Harrington. Still Harrington. He's gone past 2 players. There's 3 SARS players around him, and eventually he's
the ball needed
dispossessed.
to be inside in the square there, Colin, didn't it?
Didn't know where he was going himself. And it's the goal scorer, young Hogan. Very calm play by the young fella. Picks out Liam Healy, and Healy from 55 yards, and Healy with the ball going wide. Looked to be good from here, but great composure by the young lads.
He's got a very good first touch again. He's coming out to kind of wing forward, like when a position where he naturally plays with the minors. Very good first touch and good vision to pass it off to Liam Healy, who will be disappointed they didn't put it over.
Conor Russell getting on the ball yet again. I don't think he's had a score so far, but he's showing very well for it. Powerful shoulder there. bounce back up from it, loses possession to Liam Healy. Healy into Aaron Myers. These twin threats in the SARS forward line. Kind of a half block on it. The goalkeeper racing out there to get there before Jack O'Connor, and flicking it out to his wing back to Killian O'Donovan. To Cadigan. All the way down to another Cadigan, but that's bouncing over his head and bouncing out over the sideline. And no joy there for the Cadigan connection between Owen and Alan. And still no threat. I don't think, has Alan Kennedy did he have a save to make?
Not really. I just we were just looking at where was the threat of the goal like that. I think they've done really well to get 22 points on the board tonight. They had a couple of chances, but like they opted to take their points, and he's had a trouble-free night. Okay,
being dropped around the edge of the square there towards Donegan. Cadigan is onto it. Cadigan with the shot, and yes, we're just talking about the goal threat, but looks to be the classic too little, too late.
Yeah, back to the great what you spoke earlier on about, Shane Donegan hitting the long ball in. There was a kind of last couple of minutes, they've gone a bit direct. They needed to be doing that, and Shane Donegan is a big man. He's a tall guy. He was standing there, William Carney. Ball broke into Alan Cadigan. He finished it to the net, but just a little too late.
Yeah, 6'4" according to the stats on Shane Donegan, and caused a bit of wreck there on the edge of the square. And young Alan Cadigan perfectly positioned to finish it to the net, and that leaves our final score here tonight. Douglas 1 goal and 22 points. SARS 4 goals and 15 points. Well, if we were charging for it, you'd pay for money.
Yeah, very entertaining game, really good game of hurling. I think in fairness to both teams, they served up a fantastic game of hurling tonight. Great commitment, great passion, great energy, some fantastic scores, even the second half there. I think Douglas finished up getting 110 in the second half. To SARS, I think, got 2-4. So, Douglas can be really proud of their performance tonight. They really played really well. They had a chance. They started well, but the goals. They say goals win matches, Colm, and the goals when they came in the game, they seem to have a huge impact on the game, every single one of them. So SARS will be delighted, to come back after their victory last week against Middleton to turn it around and win again tonight. Puts them in a great position to qualify for the quarter final, maybe even the semi final. And I suppose Douglas now are looking at have football next week. There's a couple of their lads there have football as well, and they're now looking at a winner take all match against Middleton probably. In the game in the end of August, so that should be a great game as well. I think Douglas will take an awful lot of positives out of the game tonight. I think they played well. I think their setup was better when the Cadigan was back, kind of marshalling defence in we were back centre back and kind of commanded the place inside there. I still need to get Alan Cadigan on the ball a bit more. Some brilliant point scoring from Shane Kingston. I think he scored 6 alone in the second half. They'll be hoping they'd have Brian Turnbull back in there, maybe to add to that forward line the next day. So overall, great game of hurling to finish up. 122 to 415. Fantastic game.
Yeah, just looking at your notes here, and I'm just seeing the spread of scores though across the SARS team versus the Douglas team. One point that we made as well was the work that James Sweeney was doing. It looked like when Cadigan went on to him that could have been the turning point, but SARS still found a way. Yeah,
I think SARS, I was saying earlier on, have more of a scoring threat amongst the 6 forwards. When Sweeney was kind of taken, when Owen Cadigan went on him, he was kind of taken out of the game from a scoring point of view. But when he went out of it, in came Jack O'Connor with a brilliant goal. Liam Healy tipped over the bar, couple of scores, and then Daniel Hogan came on and showed great composure to catch that ball and to plant the ball in the net. So that was the difference really between the two sides. As Douglas scored 23 times, SARS scored 19 times. But at the end of the day, it's all about goals.
Crucially, a couple of those were green flags indeed. Okay. The floodlights, as I said, beaming on here in Páirc Uí Chaoimh. The pitch absolutely fantastic. The SARS players doing their warm downs there on the far side of the field, and the Douglas players just below us. Not too disconsolate, but as you said, it is going to set up a humdinger of a game against Middleton at the end of the month.
It will. Obviously, Middleton buoyant after that great victory last night. It's going to take. you'd imagine take them a bit of time to get used to the Ben O'Connor style of hurling that they're going to have to get to, that they're going to play. And by all accounts, their second half performance yesterday there was a lot of Ben's traits in it. So again, it'll be a contrast in styles the next day. Both teams have an awful lot to play for. It'll be interesting where they'll play the match. But you know, I suppose it gives us an opportunity to look forward. In 3 weeks' time, we have football. Next week we have a break, and there's some great matches being set up for the last weekend of August.
Okay, certainly we'll be looking forward to all of that here in the Irish Examiner. Don't forget as well, on Monday, 32-page sports supplement. We'll have match reports from across all the grades here in Cork. Plus we will have roundups from some of the key counties in Munster and indeed beyond. That is where we're going to have to leave it for this evening. Thanks so much for your company, and thanks so much to Ger here alongside me, a steady hand as he often provided here at Páirc Uí Chaoimh, even though he's in a slightly different vantage point at the moment. Raf and Jack were on our technical side of things, and Stephen was back at base. That is where we're going to wrap up for tonight, and indeed for our weekend coverage. Next weekend it's the turn of the football action to take over, and we'll be announcing our games a little later in the week. So that's where we're going to leave it, as the sun has set, the lights are on, stars very much in the Sars' eyes tonight, and Douglas already starting the countdown for that clash against Midleton at the end of the month. Thanks indeed to everyone for watching tonight, and thanks to our sponsors, the Co-op Superstores, for their continued assistance and support in our live streaming. Look forward to talking to you again next weekend for the Football Championship action.